Hello, this is ISU Athletic Director Jeff Tingey. I'm here with Joe Martin from the football team. This is my first ever podcast. I listen to them all the time. Thought it was time that I started my own so that we can promote ISU athletics to the best of our abilities, to be as progressive as possible and to get the word out about all of the things that are happening. Most of our fans can get on our website and learn some of those basics, or read it in the newspaper, or get on our Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat accounts, but wanted to start this as a great way for us to talk about the nitty-gritties, the behind-the-scene things, ways that we can tell our good stories. So I'm starting off with sophomore linebacker Joe Martin. Joe comes to us from Spanaway, Washington. Appreciate having me here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I needed a good guy, and Joe, you're first that came to my mind. Someone that can speak well, someone that has a good story, someone that can promote the brand, and you were tops on our list. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Can we give all the credit to you, or can we lay it at the feet of your parents? Or
Oh yeah, it's of course it starts there. They raised me. A big part of it was my dad. My mom was also in my life. They weren't together, but she was in the same state, so I was able to visit her whenever I could, which was a big help to me. Whenever I felt, my dad was being too tough on me, because he ruled with that iron fist, and I would never get spanked. I would have to do exercises. That would be my punishment. All right, you're gonna come work out with me, and you're not gonna get as much water, and you're gonna do this and that. So it was a little getaway. So it was kind of nice not having them actually in the same house. I probably would have liked to have them in the same house, but looking back at it, I probably wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
If it wasn't like that.
I like that idea, though. Working harder with me, no water. I'm going to use that for my own kids. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good idea. Well, good. You know what? Parents are important, and I'm glad that yours are an important part of your life. You come to us from Spanaway, Washington. You're a sophomore. You started a lot of the year as a freshman, and then every game as a sophomore. But in high school, you were a quarterback, and I assume a linebacker as well. But yeah. How's that transition gone from being two sides of the ball, but a quarterback? Quarterback is what we saw with Tom Brady yesterday. The quarterback's pretty important, and how do you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage being on the defensive side. Coach Trox always says to me, dang, I wish you would stop jumping after the balls when Tanner throws them. And it's mainly just because I can tell when he's throwing the ball. I've been in his shoes. I see little things that maybe other people don't, because they've never been on the offensive side of the ball. So it helps in that aspect. Also, it helps in the leader aspect. Just being on defense, even though I'm not having the ball in my hands every time, even though I'm not in that much of control, I can still be verbal. It's helped me be a verbal leader. When I first came here, I got recruited as safety, and that's one of the things they told me was, we need you to be very vocal, we need you to be a leader on the field, because that's what our safeties do. And now that I'm a linebacker, I just still bring that same mentality, like I'm a leader, like I am one of the safeties on the field, and just be as vocal as I can and try to lead everybody from that position as well. I don't think you have to be necessarily at the quarterback position.
Good. Well, and we talked about this a little bit before we started this, and so I've mentioned this to Joe. He has a heads up, but a week ago, I walked into the weight room in the afternoon to speak with our strength and conditioning coach about something, and the defense was there. They'd just gotten done with stretching, just gotten done working out or warming up, ready to start their strength and conditioning workout, and our strength coach, Kristen Schumann, spoke to the team, and then after that, you stepped in the middle of everybody and started laying out challenges. You care to tell us about that?
Of course. So first of all, Kristen, she does a great job of getting on everybody and telling them what to do. But sometimes you need it from somebody else. You need it from somebody who's in your own shoes, because Kristen's not doing it every day. She's not working out. She's not doing the stuff we're doing. So if somebody that's in the same spot as you is sitting here challenging you, you're going to feel challenged. You're, as a man, like, oh, yeah. If he can do it, why can't I? I'm in the same exact position he is. So what Kristen was saying is pretty much, yeah, we're starting a running. Our conditioning is coming up, and we would like everybody to come, and it's optional, this and that. If you want to be good, this is what you need to be. And that's fine, but I just stepped in and said, honestly, if we want a championship, if we want to be a championship caliber team, the optional things, they're not mandatory. They're not optional. They have to be mandatory. And that's what good championship teams do. If you look at the Montanas or the Montana States and Easterns, all their workouts, they say they're optional, but every single guy on the team is in that lift. It's pretty much mandatory. They'll call it optional because they have to. But every guy is there. I talk to guys up there. I tell them about what's going on here, and it's just not the same culture. So that's what we need to change. We need to change everybody's mindset and just make them want to do it. It shouldn't be forced. If everybody wants to do it, it's going to come a lot easier and a lot better.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's good to have a leader like that, someone that's not afraid to get in the faces of teammates, and especially one, and I know this with you, I can see it with you, I can see it the way you hold yourself. Year in school means nothing, because there are seniors out there are juniors out there. As a sophomore, and one considered an underclassman, you're not afraid to challenge your teammates to be better, because you, of course, want to be better.
Of course.
Well, how is strength and conditioning going?
It's going well. After that, we got tons of more guys signed up for running. Still not to where we want to be yet, but it's getting there as long as we're progressing. And another thing is we're going to have a lot more guys come this summer, I think, for summer conditioning. We're working on getting a lot more people down for that. So that should be great if that happens, because that's another big step into it too. People go home for summer and they lose everything that we've worked for right now because they're not doing the same program, or we're not all on the same program. We're not lifting together. We don't know what everyone else is doing, so we're not pushing ourselves as much. So if we can all be here and all be together and just work out, I think that'll be a huge step to having a great season next year.
Well, we haven't told the general public or the athletes, so here's just kind of like a sneak peek or a little thing. We're working on funding, myself, Coach Kramer, and our development people, about paying for summer school and housing and everything for about half the team this summer. So, which would be huge.
That would be huge. I've heard something about that, but I don't know yet. Yeah, like you said, if it's gonna go through or not. So
it's gonna go through. It's gonna go through.
Yeah, that'll definitely.
So that's our little sneak peek for the general public.
Okay.
And for the team, right?
Oh yeah.
So, what's something that the average person wouldn't know about you? Now that everybody's gonna be looking you up on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay. That the average person would not know about me. I would say that the average person would not know that. That's a tough one.
I should have given you this one before.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I guess I would go with, I'm a big shoe guy. I love shoes. If I'm not looking you in your eyes, don't think I'm looking at your body. I'm looking at your shoes, because I don't know. There's something about shoes. They've drawn my eye ever since I was a kid. I think it's my cousin. He had a big shoe collection when I was just growing up, and I just wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps, literally, and just start collecting. I have about almost 30 pairs now.
Wow.
And I wear them all too. It's not like they're just in the closet sitting up. I don't like to just collect them. I like to wear them. Some people like to collect them and put them up. I like to have shoes. I don't know. There's something about me.
What's your favorite pair?
My favorite pair would have to be the Jordan Retro 3s.
That's
a
sweet shoe.
Yeah.
That's a sick shoe. Good for you. Good. Any siblings or?
Oh yeah, I have tons of siblings.
Good for you. Lots of fun.
2 brothers and 4 sisters. So I get a lot on my plate. I just recently actually came in contact with a few of them. I didn't know them for a while. I was trying to find them, and we just came in contact and found each other. Actually, it was after the Oregon State game, and I was just on the bus and got a message. And I was like, can I call you? I think you're, related to me. And it was just been since then. I've been meeting my family, and then that last winter break after season, I got to meet all my sisters from my mom's side and stuff. So it was a huge deal, because before then, I was just the oldest, and I've always had to be the oldest. Now I have a couple older sisters that I can, ask for questions.
Oh,
and
that's
things.
pretty neat. Wow, what a great story too.
Yeah, it's great.
That they found you, and I reached out, and a lot of people
great.
could just say, "Oh yeah, whatever." But
Mm-hmm.
good. Then last question, because I know you've got to go to class this afternoon. I don't want to make you late, but if you are late, you can blame it on me, and I'll call that professor. But what are you studying?
Studying management and marketing.
Oh, wow.
Business school.
Good ones.
Getting through it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's important stuff right now too.
Oh yeah.
So with management and marketing, what you think about with the marketing, especially the Super Bowl commercials last night? Did they get their point across?
They're interesting. I always look at those actually because one of my classes is usually going to talk about them, or ask us what happened, and usually they use humor to catch everyone's eye. That seems to be the big advertising thing now, is humor, funny. If it's funny, it's going to catch your eye. So all those ones that had humor in them are the ones that caught me.
Good. Well, we appreciate you joining today. This is the first, and boy, we're talking longer than I thought we would, but I don't want you to be late for class, so I'm going to let you go now, but thank you so much for joining me and
thanks for having me.
Helping me in my first podcast ever. Okay. So that's Joe Martin, sophomore linebacker, soon to be junior linebacker from the ISU football team, marketing management major, and linebacker extraordinaire. Good to have you there. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, for the rest, I'm just going to go over just a couple items in the athletic department, things that people may not know. I don't know that I need to introduce myself too much beyond this. I think I'm an open and shut book. People know me. I've been athletic director here for about 9 years. I'm sort of a Pocatello native. In the fact that I went to junior high and high school here. So, but beyond that, we lived in 5 other places growing up. So that's kind of it for me. Just a couple other things to share with everyone. In case you didn't see it, both our men's and women's basketball teams over the last week both swept their games. Women were on the road at Northern Arizona and Southern Utah. They won. The men were at home against both of those, and they won. Although 2 of those games were in striking fashion, the men on Thursday were down by 20 and came back and won the game in overtime. It was besides the fact it was a great victory, it was a great moral victory for that team, and they played with so much more confidence on Saturday. So really happy with them. And women's basketball playing down at Southern Utah, they won in double overtime. They had odds stacked against them at a lot of different times in the game. They just didn't falter, didn't give up. So excited for them. They play. The women play at home this week with Portland State, and Eastern Washington. Should be some great games, and the men will go on the road. Last week, one of our softball greats, Casey Burnett, for the second time in a row was named to the National Top 50 watch list, which is for the National Player of the Year. And it's the second year in a row that she's done that. There's 50 women that are put on that list, and she was one of just a handful that were not from one of the Power 5 conferences. So Casey is an outstanding athlete, an even better student, and one who has a eye-popping career batting average for the Bengals of a .453. If she was playing Major League Baseball, she'd be racking in the millions every game with that kind of batting average. And then beyond that, just 2 other things. Track and field season is going. We are a week away from the Simplot Games, which comes to Holt Arena. A great event for some of the top high school track programs in the nation. It's always fun. As a former track guy, I had the great blessing to play football and run track in college, and ran more track than I did football. But as a track guy, this is a fun meet, fun to watch. And then the week right after that, we are hosting the indoor track and field championships for the Big Sky Conference here at Holt Arena. So we've got, I'll say, one of the best facilities for indoor track in the nation. It works out so well. So we're looking forward to that. As part of that, many know this, many don't, but Justin Franz, one of our throwers in the shot put, has won the Big Sky Conference Athlete of the Week 3 times. 3 times in 4 weeks. It's been an amazing feat. He's doing very well. Justin is a Idaho native. He's from Rigby, I believe, and doing great things for us. We're very proud of him and all of that team. And his work and the team, we expect great things from them, and that will lead us to a project we're working on this summer where we will redo our track down at Davis Field. But we'll talk about that more later. I think I'll wrap it up here. First podcast for me. I'm hoping it goes well. It seems to go well. We will distribute it well through all of our different social medias. But it's great. It's a great time to be a Bengal. Stick around or stay tuned for track and field. I want to say track and field is at home this weekend. I should know that. Yes, they are. Women's basketball is at home. Come support your Bengals. Cheer them on. Thanks for listening, and go Bengals.